Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Marquette Golden Eagles Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. Today we're taking on the number 10 Nebraska Cornhuskers here from Lincoln, Nebraska at Memorial Stadium. Our Golden Eagles come off a heartbreaking loss last week, another wild finish as Minnesota got a late deep heave, kept their foot in bounds. Our defender was all over him, but that set up a game-winning field goal as our 4-game winning streak came to an end. We now have a tough task here against Nebraska, as I said, number 10 in the nation, as they come in at 5-1. And Bo Pelini now in his 10th season with the Cornhuskers, 75-39 all-time here in Lincoln. And our Marquette Golden Eagles have won 5 straight games against ranked opponents, but we have never beat a top 10 team. We look to establish a new feat here in Marquette history, but it will not be easy here from a hostile Memorial Stadium against a top 10 team in the Nebraska Cornhuskers. One of 2 Big Ten matchups for the Golden Eagles this year, as we do win the coin toss. And this is kind of tough. I don't know if we'll put it into the hands of our offense and see if we can get down and get some points and maybe quiet this crowd a little bit. And we're now underway from Lincoln, Nebraska, and we are going to just take this out with that Archibald, see if he can make something happen for us. Not too bad, as he does get back to the 25. A 4-game winning streak snapped last week against the Golden Gophers as Marquette looks to get back into the win column. An opening pass here for Walker as he just overthrows Malcolm Graham. Malcolm Graham did have some space, but a little late into his release. A little late into his break is what I meant to say there. Malcolm Graham, he's racked up the touchdowns this year, but can be ghost at times. Now give here for Craig Jones, and really nothing doing there. Nebraska, some good push up front there in the trenches. And this is what I feared by opting to take the ball, is just a quick 3 and out and putting it right into the hands of Nebraska. And now a 3rd and 10, Walker out there empty as he does take the snap. Go up the seam there for Manning, and a good close on the ball. Sat in the pocket a little bit and maybe read the field. Took a little too long to read the field that time. 3 and out for Marquette. Maybe a bad decision to take the ball here, as obviously it does not work in our favor. Plus, it has taken us a little bit to get into rhythm in our past games here. It's going to be fielded at the 30 by Terrell Newby as he does break it up the sideline. Hurdles a man and still going as he's probably forced out the 40. Tommy Armstrong Jr., the quarterback for Nebraska. Great week last week, 319 passing yards with 4 touchdowns. You could tell in that punt return, Terrell Newby just bigger, faster, stronger than our guys out there. Could be one of those matchups. Armstrong back to pass. And he's going to be brought down on the first drop back. And that's Mike Johnson getting home. It looked like Nebraska had some guys open downfield, but Mike Johnson getting back there quick. Now 2nd and 17, Nebraska forced back to the 47. Armstrong will keep here. Has a lot of green grass ahead. And he's going to be brought down there. A combo of Price and Pelland. 9 yards now, 3rd and 8 for the Cornhuskers. Nebraska now at the 39, 3rd and 8. As Sam Cotton, the tight end, in motion. Armstrong to pass. A lot of time there in the pocket. Goes for the end zone. And he gets that in for Jordan Westerkamp. Drops it right into the bucket. And Westerkamp, a big play. Senior to senior. And Nebraska strikes quickly. Forced to 3 and out. And Kenny Johnson just burned downfield there. And Lenny Butler a little late to get over. And a huge connection. So maybe the worst case scenario start here for Marquette, down 7-0 after a 3 and out. Nebraska strikes quickly, and Texas A&M falls their first loss of the season as the Auburn Tigers take them down 35-14. Georgia Tech currently number 3 in the nation, so a win this week against Virginia, they're going to take the number 2 spot. Big turnout here from Auburn. Now more action as Virginia number 12 against number 3 Georgia Tech. The Cavs up 7-0, and that's who we're going to end our season with. We have Virginia for Senior Day, and then Georgia Tech in the final week. Arkansas takes down number 6 Ole Miss, so already 2 top 6 teams fall in week 9, I believe we're now in. The Marquette offense back out there after they failed to generate even a yard last time. 3 and out on their opening drive. Now a give for Alexander. He does find a hole to the left side as he bounces it for 5. The only loss so far for Nebraska coming against a ranked Penn State team, and Penn State beat us 45-7 in our bowl game last year, the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Now another give for Alexander, a good one there, 4 yards, now 3rd and inches. Nebraska has defeated Tennessee this season. Tennessee 6-1, and I think entering the week at number 7. Now 3rd and inches, Jeff Harris will get 3 up the middle for the first down. First down for Marquette. Alexander and Jones in the backfield. A stacked box for Nebraska. They still give to Jones, and he's able to get 4. And stick around for the end of the episode. We'll get a recruiting update, and we have added a couple players to our board, a couple high-profile athlete recruits who I'm very excited about, so stay tuned to check them out. We also have gotten a few commits in the past couple weeks. Now Walker to pass. Quick one there for Pinson, and that's the Z spot out of the ace bunch, one of my favorite plays in the playbook, always consistent. First down for Marquette from about midfield, as they'll get back to Jones. Good spin move, and he works it up the middle, and Craig Jones, he has like half the carries as Dusty Alexander, but only trailing as our rushing leader by maybe like 50 yards at this point. Craig Jones entering this week averaging over 7 yards per carry. Now here against a light box, and we'll take advantage, another 5 up the middle. Now 1st and 10, Marquette now inside the 40-yard line of Nebraska. It looks like they'll bring pressure. We'll dump that off quick for Amwakpour, and he can't make a man miss. Hit hard there, but he does hang on for 4. Now 2nd and 6 for the Golden Eagles. Walker to pass. Going to roll to the right. Trying to get Malcolm Graham there. And Graham hangs on, working through contact, using the big body, the 6'6", 260 frame. And Graham for 21. Big strike to get Marquette inside the red zone. A big response on this drive after the 3 and out to start. Going to put Watkins in motion. And Walker's going to keep here for the read option. Watkins did pick up a block, kind of. Couldn't quite hold there. I thought Walker was going to find the end zone there. I don't know what the spin move was all about. Should have busted that to the right side, but still 7 yards down to the 5. Now 2nd and 3 as we hit the 2-minute mark in this first quarter. We'll go to Dusty Alexander as he's leveled. Gets a couple. 3rd and 1 now. 3rd and 1, we'll see Michael James check into the backfield for the first time. And so get the carry, and I don't know what that was about. Busted it to the right side and just held up there. Marcus Newby on the stop. 4th and 1 from the 4. What are we going to do? So we will trot out the offense. And Nebraska has got a good push against us, but I don't think this is a game where you really settle for field goals. And this is a longer 4th and 1, but we'll go Jeff Harris as he gets ahead and can't quite find the end zone, but brought down at the inch-yard line. And now we have 4 plays to work it across. Great drive engineered here by the Marquette offense, led by the running game. 1st and goal. We'll go right back to Jeff Harris, and he gets in for the touchdown. And we're going to be all tied up here in Lincoln. Now Eddie Stevens on for the kickoff after the Jeff Harris touchdown and Castillo extra point. This will be fielded from the 2. Dancing around there. Okay, that'll go back for a touchback. Before the Nebraska offense takes the field again, let's take a look at their impact players, led by Tommy Armstrong Jr., 93 overall, senior quarterback, tremendous athlete, 90 speed, 89 acceleration, leading this multiple offense, 89 throw accuracy, 85 throw power, and a very good runner with the 81 break tackle and 84 elusiveness. Enters this game just 800 yards or so behind Taylor Martinez as the program's all-time leading passer. Over his career, 63 touchdowns. This year, 16 to just 3 interceptions, as he's now over 1,500 passing yards on the season. The backfield is led by Adam Taylor, who's just a load at running back, 6'2", 216 with 83 break tackle, a very strong player as well, and good athletic traits with 91 speed, 96 acceleration, trucking at 87, 93 stiff arm, and 90 juke move. So very tough to bring down in the open field or on contact. Already 10 touchdowns over his career in just 2 seasons. This year, 8 with 575 rushing yards. At wide receiver, we've already been beat over the top by Jordan Westerkamp on that 39-yard touchdown. A 93 overall with 93 acceleration, 90 speed, 87 agility. The route running at 96. You can't cover him. 93 catching, 89 spec catch, 87 jump, 85 elusiveness. So very good with the ball in his hands as well. Over his career, 1 yard short of 1,500 entering this game. 5 touchdown receptions in each of the last 2 seasons, 14 yards per catch on the year so far. His counterpart at receiver, Trey Bright, a true junior, so one of the top receivers in the year 1 recruiting class, ended up coming here to Lincoln. 90 overall, 90 speed, 89 acceleration, 87 agility, 93 route running, so 2 very good route runners here on this Nebraska perimeter. 87 catch in traffic, 87 spec catch, 88 elusiveness. So far on his career, just 731 receiving yards, but a bigger role this season, and he's produced 15.4 yards per catch. At tight end, there's a senior Sam Cotton, 89 overall. Decent athlete for a tight end with good catching traits, and he helps out pretty good in blocking with the 83 run block, and a 78 impact, and 79 pass block. And now we'll just scroll through the offensive line. A sophomore Cody James at left tackle, 82 overall. Rich Martin, a junior at left guard, 84 overall. Paul Thurston, a 94 overall center, and we'll take a look at him. 92 pass block, 90 run block, 89 impact block with the 90 strength. 70 speed and 89 acceleration at 6'5", 283. Pretty good there on the O-line. Zach Hannon, a senior right guard, 84 overall. And David Knevel, 86 over. Is that Knievel? Knevel at 86 overall, junior redshirt at right tackle, 6'9", 310. That is the Nebraska offense. We certainly have our hands full today in this one. They're going to set up a screen, and Kenny Johnson cannot pick that off. That would have been a pick six going the other way. Kenny Johnson still without an interception as our top corner, and we really haven't heard much from him this season, but I think that's kind of a good thing. And now a screen here for Taylor. Already said he's tough to bring down, but just brought down there in congestion. Now 3rd and 12. 3rd and 12 now for Nebraska, as Cotton will go in motion. Armstrong Jr. back to pass. And again downfield for Westerkamp, but he just overthrows him. Back there in zone, we're going to have to get even deeper, it seems. Wow, we get bailed out there. And we're certainly going to need to pay a little more attention over the top here. Obviously going to live in zone, usually do, but a lot of cover 3 and cover 4 probably today, as Jordan Pinson will field this from the 28 as he works that to the 40. 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter of this 7-7 game. Walker to pass, maybe the last play of this first quarter. He'll get Scott Nwakpor, and Nwakpor brought down after 10 now, 2nd and inches, and that will do it here in the first. We came out flat on offense, but Mike Johnson, that big sack, we recovered there on defense, although we did get bailed out. They almost hit Westerkamp again deep, but we're going to have to pay a little more attention back there in coverage if we want to win this one. Now, starting the second quarter, 2nd and inches from the 49. Dusty Alexander back there as the lone back, and he will get the give. A nice hole opens up as he breaks the tackle, and finally called down 12 yards up the middle. 1st and 10 now from the 40. And they'll go back to Alexander, runs into his own man there on the line, and brought down for no gain. Now 2nd and 10 for the Golden Eagles. Do a quick hitch there for Pinson, had some space, and we'll eat up 5, now 3rd and 5. Maybe should have let that one develop a little bit, but I saw Pinson had all that cushion, so I just took it. Now 3rd and 5, as we'll give to Alexander, and he'll drag a man ahead for the first down. Someone was home there in the backfield, but a strong effort there from Alexander to work ahead for the first. And now we'll take a break from this Marquette drive to highlight the Nebraska impact players on defense, starting with D-tackle Malik Collins, future draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys, I believe. 67 speed there at 297 pounds with the 82 acceleration, 85 strength, and overall just very balanced with the power moves, finesse move, block shed pursuit, all, low to mid 80s, 88 hit power, and he's already been making an impact with some QB hurries and some good plays there against the run. At DN, there's Avery Moss, an 88 overall, 6'2", 281 redshirt senior, good athlete at that size off the edge with 91 finesse move, an 86 power move, and an 82 block shed. 10 sacks over his career thus far. Joining him at DN is Mike Mosby, a 6', 258 true junior at 86 overall. Good speed there at 86, so very, very good athlete off the edge, even better than Moss on the other side. A 93 finesse move, so he gets home quickly, and he has a good block shed at 82 with 95 pursuit and 89 hit power, just absurd. Entering this game as Nebraska's sack leader with 7.5 on the year and 18 tackles for loss. In the linebacking core, there's Marcus Newby, an 87 overall left outside linebacker, very good athlete with 86 zone, 95 hit power, and a 93 power move. So he kind of, impacts every phase of the game. At right outside linebacker, true senior Josh Banderas, 87 overall with 88 speed, 92 acceleration, and 85 agility. These linebackers are more athletic than guys in our secondary. 86 tackle, 81 play rec, and 88 pursuit. good in coverage, and 95 hit power. So a lot of these guys can lay the wood, and hopefully we can practice some good ball security in this one. The Cornhuskers are down their top corner due to injury, so Corey Gutierrez, a true sophomore, at just 79 overall, their top guy. Good athlete, good man, good zone, 90 play rec. So still a very good player, but not to the caliber as the other guys, as the other starters along this defense. So maybe cornerback is a spot we could exploit. Charles Jackson, one of the captains on this team, a 90 overall senior with good speed, good acceleration, and just balanced all around as a safety with a 92 pursuit and the coverage traits all at 86 or above. Nebraska weak at corner, but also their middle linebacker, a 70 overall freshman, Sam Presley. Now 1st and 10 for Marquette. I'll go for that Archibald, and a good read there from Walker as he gets Archibald up the field, 18 yards inside the 10 now. Fresh set of downs here for Marquette, a chance to take the lead. Jones, a good recovery there as a man was in the backfield, but still can't manage to get anything going. Now 2nd and 10, Walker from the shotgun, and he'll take the snap. Can't get anything going as pressure broke down, does get rid of the ball luckily, but no one was open, and that pressure got home quick. Now 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, we're going to go with slants here. I don't really know how this is going to go. Walker to pass. We have Archibald over the middle, and he can't hang on. Maybe in Walkport would have been the better option there, but Archibald can't hold on. Probably would have been brought down at the 1, which would have brought up a tough decision, but now at the 10, we are going to have to settle for the field goal. Here's Castillo. 2-mile-per-hour winds to the left. And the kick is up, and that one is good as Marquette does take the lead, 10-7. And we'll see if the defense can again hold Nebraska to a punt drive. Last time Terrell Newby was doing a little dancing on the kickoff and just let it go for a touchback. I'll take that same result this time. Looks like he will field this time from his own end zone and take it out. And a good tackle there. I think that was Aaron Clark making the good solo tackle. Newby brought down at his own 18. The Nebraska offense now back out there for the 3rd time in this game. A touchdown drive and then a punt as they trail by 3. And they go here, give to Taylor. And a good hole opens up the middle. And a hard hit there by Chance Pelland. But Taylor gets 13 on his first give. 1st and 10 now from the 32. And they go right back to Taylor. Some good blocking as a lineman got out there in the 2nd level. And Taylor 22. And I feel like if they just kind of focus on the running game here, he's going to just be putting together these big runs. We really can't be too aggressive in our defensive play calling this week, but because Nebraska, a team that will just take advantage. And here Butler gets there in the hole, but can't bring him down. Then finally Philip Marshall able to trip him up. I thought Taylor was going to regain his balance there and take it to the house. Look at him just punish Butler there on the edge. 1st and 10 now, Nebraska at the 24. Just stringing together a bunch of big plays in this first half. Armstrong to pass. As I go for a screen for Taylor, gets some space, and then brought down there by Robert Williamson. 2nd and 5 now after the 5-yard screen to Adam Taylor. And now they go with the keep here for Armstrong as Bobby Price there to bring him down. Now a 3rd and 3 as we hit the halfway point in the 2nd quarter. Going to go with Rover Dog here in the 4-2-5 set. McDonald in motion on this 3rd and 3. Armstrong, the play action. They do get McDonald there towards the sideline. A good play call, and that gets the job done. A 1st down for the Cornhuskers. Nebraska now in the red zone. Looks like they go with the speed option here. Armstrong's going to keep, and he's forced out. Nothing doing that time. 2nd and 10. As Armstrong again will keep. And he's going to be brought down there by Kevin Davis. And now another 3rd down for the Cornhuskers. This one 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 here from the 5. We'll see what Nebraska does. Armstrong to pass. They're going to go with slants, it looked like. As Pelland makes a big hit in the open field. It looks like Antonio Carr was there in pursuit, but Armstrong able to get away using that athleticism. But 4th and 1 from the 2. Nebraska is going to go for it. Big play here for both sides. I thought they might go for the tie, but they're clearly the more talented team and probably going to expose us here as they do not. We go with the 5-2, and Pelland has been super active in this game, and that's maybe the biggest tackle of his career thus far. Marquette forces turnover on downs inside their own 5. That's a big-time play. I honestly did not see that stop coming. Put out the 5-2 for the first time with the 5-down lineman, and Chance Pelland of all players there to get home. And now Alexander Give from his own 4-yard line breaks it upfield, has some space. as he crosses midfield. And a huge run from Dusty Alexander, his biggest of the season. And that gives us some much needed breathing room into Nebraska territory. Two huge plays, one on defense, one on offense in succession here for Marquette. We have Archibald there on the deep out, but if he can beat the press there, he might be all alone downfield. Walker to pass. We'll just leak this out for Harrison. Bad read there as they had the safety there just in the flat. And Harris, a 6-yard loss. What are we doing? Bad read there from Walker. Honestly, I didn't even look downfield. Just kind of got tunnel vision that time. Now 2nd and 16. Craig Watkins in motion. I'm going to go with Walker on the keep, on the read option. Good blocking. And Walker gets 10. And it'll set us up more manageable 3rd and 6. Now less than a minute left in the half. 3rd and 6 here for Marquette. Walker takes the snap. Going to roll to the right. I thought Archibald was going to stay there towards the sideline. He does not. As we chuck that downfield into traffic. Luckily, it just falls for an incompletion. Now, Marquette from the 42. Going to have to punt in this spot. Maybe should have tried to burn more clock there. Still all the timeouts left for the Cornhuskers. But hopefully, Stevens can work his magic this time. I always struggle, working with a shorter field. Try to really perfect it, but I don't know. Maybe spend too much time trying to perfect it. I think we'll just go with this one. I think that might be... Yeah, that was a really bad angle. Oh my goodness. That would have been a good punt if I just brought it a little more in. So really just like a 20-yard swing. And, in those spots you might just rather go for it. Because Nebraska, they could eat that up in just one play. Armstrong to pass. Going to go towards the sideline for Riley. And that'll go for just 2 yards. Armstrong from the shotgun here on 2nd and 8. As he will pass. Or he'll actually tuck it and run. And he's going to be brought down there by Bobby Price in the open field. But he does get the first down. 1st and 10, 31 seconds remaining. Armstrong to pass. He actually will give a strong stiff arm there on Reggie Watkins. But Mike Johnson gets home for the tackle for loss. Now 2nd and 13. Nebraska may be trying to surprise us with a run there. But all over it. 29 seconds now remaining. 2nd and 13. Armstrong from the shotgun. He'll pass. He'll actually run again. And Rob Bain, he'll meet him there as Rob Bain, his 12th sack of the season, leading the nation. Just pulls down the center and then a spin move off the second block. And that's Rob Bain working against a 94 overall center and then picking up a second block and then there to bring down Armstrong. And Nebraska, I think, maybe content to just let it run down to halftime, 3rd and 16. Although we have given up some big hits here in these situations. Going back to even last week against Minnesota. They struck for like a 30-yard pass on the sideline to set up a game-winning field goal with 2 seconds left. Now the last snap of the half here as Armstrong will just go for Cotton, the tight end, bounces off a tackle and then brought down by Kevin Davis. So after one half of football here in Lincoln, our Marquette Golden Eagles up 10-7, and that's kind of surprising to me at this point. Just staying true to our game plan. We're a control clock, run the ball type team, and our defense, as long as they can make some stops, I think we're in pretty good shape overall. I was a little nervous out of the gate. Terrell Newby had that nice punt return where he really exuded his dominance over us, and then they hit with Westerkamp vertically on the very first drive. But after that, our defense, some big sacks, some big tackle for losses, and our offense able to keep our heads above water thus far as we lead number 10 Nebraska 10-7 going into the second half of play. So the Cornhuskers will get the ball to start this second half as they trail by 3. Like I said earlier, Marquette has won 5 in a row against ranked opponents, but never has defeated a top 10 team as we seek to achieve that here today. We're going to be aggressive here out of the gate, just hoping they were going to go for a run, which they do not, as Riley beats us over the middle and 17 yards for the Cornhuskers on their first play of the half. All right, so maybe we won't do that again, or at least not for a while. Now first down, they're going to keep for Armstrong as he's going to carve his way past midfield for another 11 through the ground. First down, Nebraska at the 47. They'll get back to Taylor. Pellin was there on the edge, couldn't make the stop. Kenny Johnson can't make the stop as Taylor slips that tackle, and he's going to go 47 to the house and give Nebraska the lead. We were able to bottle up Taylor at the end of the half, but he gets going very early here as he puts Nebraska ahead. Now 14-10, just 32 seconds into the second half. Now let's see how the Marquette offense faces some adversity to open this half. Now trailing as a huge gap shot there as Alexander brought down for a loss. That's the freshman Sam Presley at middle linebacker, and that's a huge stop. Now 2nd and 12 for the Golden Eagles as Walker takes the snap. Going to roll to the right. And on the run hit, Scott Nwakpor, and a good job there from Walker extending the play really as he was just at the sideline there, but able to get it off for Nwakpor, and that's a first down. Now 1st and 10, 2 tight ends on the field. And we'll go back to Michael James, just his second carry of the day as he gets ahead for 2. 2nd and 8, Craig Jones checks into the game as he goes in motion. Walker to pass, go over the middle there for Childress, and he's hit very hard, but hangs on. 12 yards for Childress, his first catch of the day, excuse me. And just for, my loyal followers, the supporters, I never talk as much in real life as I do in this series. I'm definitely an introvert by trade, but this kind of puts me out of my comfort zone a little bit. As Craig Jones, a 9-yard carry up the middle, 2nd and 1. He's been a second half hero for us this season. 2nd and 1. I think we'll just go right back to the halfback dive here for Jones. A little patient there, and it works out as he slips through a lane and gets another 12 down to the 25. If both Alexander and Jones can get going like they have in this one, we're usually in pretty good shape, and now both on the field in this formation. And Jones again will get the give. Runs into Alexander, who is going up there for the block, but still a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. And now 2nd and 7. Play action here. And Walker's going to fumble. I tried to run away from pressure, and I said earlier the fumble was going to be maybe our Achilles here, our downfall in this one. And Mosby just making light work there of Randy Heidemann, showing his strength. It wasn't even Heidemann, so that was our backup left tackle. And our linemen, they just rotate in and out for some reason due to stamina. But as I mentioned in another episode, that's really not realistic. So we're going to use our offensive coordinator and upgrade our stamina rating at our next upgrade. So a killer turnover there as we had a bunch of momentum going, but Walker stripped on the sack, and Nebraska takes back over. A 3-yard gain there from Tommy Armstrong. Now 2nd and 7 for Nebraska. And, those turnovers, of course, out of our control. We can't, give Walker better ball security in those situations, but maybe could have got rid of it and not, got us to that point in the play. A good tackle for loss there. Now a 3rd and 5. Big play coming here. Marquette would love to force a punt. Armstrong, play action. And he's going to have a man, but just misses him again. That's Westerkamp. They connected big early, but have had a couple big misses as well. Now a 4th down, and nothing doing after the turnover. Pinson going to field this from his own 13. Good blocking as Pinson does run into his own man, and we're set up for 16 to the 31. Marquette back with the ball as they'll start this drive with a give for Alexander. Takes that one to the edge for 2, and now 2nd and 8. 2nd down, backed out there in the I formation. We'll give to Alexander. Good vision there from Alexander as he picks up 9 and a 1st down. He's been very good this week. 1st down here for Marquette as we give to Alexander. Brought down there by Malik Collins. 2 yards, 2nd and 8. 2nd down for the Golden Eagles now from the 44. Walker to pass. Try to go downfield for Archibald, but I don't know if we were hit as we threw there, which forced a bad throw if Alexander just couldn't deliver a clean one. Or I'm sorry, if Walker couldn't deliver a clean one. Now 3rd and 8. 2:04 remaining in the 3rd. 3rd and 8 for the Golden Eagles. Walker to pass. Dump that off for Childress. And Childress stopped in his tracks there at the 50. A 4th and 2. And I don't know if we go for it in this spot. Let's see. So we will throw out the offense here and see how it looks. I do kind of like the numbers if we can maybe slip through the A gap here. 4th and 2. We have Michael James and Jeff Harris in this 22 set. And if we're going to stay with Nebraska, I think we just got to send it. Michael James, and he just barely gets ahead. Thought the knee might have been down, but it is not, and we can live to see another down. And now Marquette across midfield as they survive on this drive. We're going to go with the speed option. Try to pitch that for Jones, but I think that was Mosby who got Mike Mosby's second tackle for loss. He had that strip sack, and he delivers another blow there against Walker. On those speed options, you really just got to commit quickly to the pitch, which I was fully willing to do, but just could not get it off in time. Now 2nd and 14, we come out with 5 receivers for the first time today. Walker to pass. We have Archibald over the middle, and he can't hang on. A big hit there from the linebacker. And I think that might have been the freshman again, Presley. And Archibald, a bunch of big drops on the season. I mean, I don't know how much you can fault him there. That was a big hit. And Archibald, not the biggest frame out there, just 5'7", like 170. Now 3rd and 14, and we'll stick with the 5 receivers. I was going to go for Childress there at the sideline, but Walker way off that time. 4th and 14, Marquette going to have to punt. See if we can get a better result than our last one. 2-mile-per-hour winds to the left side. And we'll see how this one goes. Looks like it is going to be fair. Caught there at the 15. Another bad one. Kind of struggling here with the punts. Yardage. We are winning the yardage battle by 19, 242 to 223, but we are not winning on the scoreboard, and the Cornhuskers do have the ball back. Nebraska from the 14, at least on this drive. I at least want to hold them to a field goal, keep it to a one-possession game, as Armstrong will keep, as he stiff-arms Butler, and then Chance Pellin there to bring him down, and no gain. Now less than 10 seconds remaining, probably the last play of this third quarter. Adam Taylor gets the give, and Mike Johnson off the edge to make the play. He's been super stout against the run, even had that early sack, as we are going to start the fourth quarter with a 3rd and 10 from Nebraska deep in their own territory. Our defense has stood up to the task, allowing just 14 points, but our offense leaving some on the board, and we need to get a touchdown if we're going to want to win this game. Now 3rd and 10 Nebraska, 50%, 3 out of 6 on 3rd downs today. Armstrong to pass underneath there for Taylor, and he's going to be brought down short of the first down. A huge play there. I think that was Clark and Bobby Price. Now bringing up a 4th and inches from the 24, and the Cornhuskers are going to punt. Marquette, another chance to get some points on the board here. Defense doing a tremendous job in this game against a top 5 offense in the nation. We'll start with a gift for Craig Jones. Good blocking to the outside. Sean Murphy had a pancake there. Jones tries a spin move, but brought down another big gain through the run. And Jones and Alexander, some big days so far. 1st and 10, Sam Manning checks into the game. His first carry, and he'll get nothing. Now 2nd and 10. Marquette at the 45, Walker to pass. And that's for Doug Childress over the middle. He makes the catch for 11 and a first down, as Marquette now in Nebraska territory. First down, Craig Jones back into the game, as he does get the give. Works it to the outside, does a good job pressing the line. A good spin move, and 14 yards for Jones to the 30. Now Alexander and Jones each at least 70 yards on the ground. Craig Jones back out there, so he'll get another give. Almost tripped up there in the backfield, but works ahead for 6, and now 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4 for Marquette, and they'll give to Dusty Alexander. Good vision there, gets ahead for 7, as he's now at to 97 rushing yards. First down for the Golden Eagles, as we'll go with the play action. Really nothing open, and Walker will just dump that off for Graham. Nice underthrow there from Walker on the run. Pretty cool animation, but it'll just get 1 yard. A little underhand toss there for Graham, as Walker worked towards the sideline. Now 2nd and 9. Craig Jones into the game, less than 5 minutes remaining. We'll go with none other than Craig Jones. Try to spin move a little too late, as we were beat there on the edge. Just 2 yards now, 3rd and 6. The Golden Eagles just 2 out of 8 on 3rd down. 3rd and 6 here, probably 4 down territory, as they do go with the run here for Alexander. Doesn't get the first, but does get 5, and I think we'll take that. And now a 4th and 1, we're going to go for it. Marquette hasn't been good on 3rd down, but at least we're 2 out of 2 on 4th down. Let's make it 3 for 3, as Michael James will do just that with 3 yards, and Marquette now inside the 5. Less than 3.5 minutes remaining, and we'll go right back to Michael James. A good finish there as he trucked ahead for 4, and now 2nd and goal from the 1.5 yard line. 2nd and goal now, as we give to Dusty Alexander, and he gets it in for the touchdown. Now at 104 yards with a touchdown score, and Marquette going to be up by a field goal, pending the extra point. 2:47 remaining, and let's see if our defense, which has been very, very good in this game. Definitely exceeding expectations, overachieving. And let's see if they can hang strong down the stretch. Castillo puts the extra point through. Marquette now up 17-14 as we get a studio update. And Georgia Tech falls for the first time. Virginia advances to 6-1 as each team identical records now. Virginia probably, of course, will jump into the top 10. And I think Georgia Tech probably will be in the top 10 as well. So we have Massachusetts, San Diego State, Virginia, and Georgia Tech in the final third of the season. Baylor defeats Oklahoma, as Oklahoma will probably fall maybe outside the top 20 now at 4-3. And West Virginia is still undefeated. And I think they're going to be the number 2 team in the nation now after Georgia Tech and Texas A&M fell this week. 2:47 remaining here in Lincoln. Marquette up 17-14. We need some good kickoff coverage here. Although Newby will go for the kneel down, and we'll take that. 312 yards so far for Marquette. 233 for Nebraska, just 90 here in the second half so far. The Nebraska offense had some big plays early on, but kind of kept in check. Otherwise, they'll go for Newby out of the ends or out of the backfield, and we did have Bobby Price there, but a little late to react. A first down for Nebraska, as Armstrong will keep. Chance Pelland, another big hit there on the edge, and really not known for his tackling or his big hits, but a bunch in this game so far. 2nd and 10 now, just over 2 minutes remaining as they go back to Adam Taylor. Good blocking there on the outside as he breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and then finally brought down, I think, Lenny Butler on the stop, a 3rd and inches. Less than 2 minutes remaining now, Nebraska trailing by a field goal, and we could be in store for some overtime action. Armstrong to pass. Has Westerkamp over the middle. I read that with Pelland, but still didn't crash on that slant route. And Westerkamp 15 yards and a first down. Nebraska not showing any urgency here, and maybe wisely so. Armstrong a delay give for Taylor, and Taylor stood up there against the block. 2nd and 8, just 2 yards. Nebraska still with all their timeouts now, just a minute 15 remaining. Now at the 35. Sam Cotton, the tight end, in motion as Armstrong will take the snap. Looks like he's going to try and run for it as he's brought down by Mike Johnson, just 1 yard, and now a 3rd and 7 as we hit the 1 minute mark. Nebraska finally decides to take a timeout now with exactly a minute left to play here. 3rd and 7 from the 35. Armstrong the pass going to go for the end zone, and Trey Bright drops it. We had Pelland and Williamson there in coverage. Neither could make a play on the ball, and Trey Bright drops what would have been the go-ahead touchdown. And now 55 seconds remaining, and this is a 53-yard field goal attempt. I guess we will call a timeout just to ice him up, but it looks like they do have the antifreeze skill activated. So it really all comes down to this, a 53-yard field goal attempt to tie it here in Lincoln. The number 10 Cornhuskers looking to stay alive. The kick is up, and that is good as the Cornhuskers do tie it up. So 17-17, 52 seconds remaining. Marquette a couple timeouts, and we probably have to get to like the 20-yard line if we want to get off a field goal attempt. This is going to be fielded by Archibald at the 1. Could really use a good return this time. Some good blocking to the right as Archibald breaks it up the sideline as he works it to the 43. So at this point, probably like 37 to 40 yards, and we're cooking. Marquette from the 43 with 45 seconds remaining. Walker going to roll to the right. He'll just try and get some himself, as he's only going to get 3. Walker's still out there empty now, 41 seconds remaining. We'll hit Childress there. It's Childress on the toe tap, 9 yards now to the 45. Greg Walker just 13 for 21, 116 yards in this game. As he drops back to pass here, just go for Malcolm Graham there. Graham does keep it in bounds, but works ahead for the first. And we will call a timeout. 32 seconds remaining. Marquette now at the 34. Probably need like 15 more yards here. Some good ball movement on this drive set up by that return from Archibald. And Pinson going to have a quick hitch there. I'm kind of tempted to go for a slant and see how that works. We'll go for a quick pass there, and it's almost intercepted. Wow, good read there by Sam Presley, the freshman middle linebacker. He read that to perfection, but drops what could have been, a game-saving interception. And now we live to tell the tale. 30 seconds remaining. Still going to have a couple more shots here. I wouldn't even mind just, running it with Walker to pick up what we need. Probably a little late to get that one off, as the clock is going to continue to run, and we can never get back quick enough. We're going to need to get a playoff here, and we still do have a timeout. Maybe should have just called the timeout in this situation. Barely able to get it back, as we do have Archibald there, and he hangs on this time. Archibald, and he'll just bring that down to the 13 for 18 yards, what could set up the game-winning field goal. So 8 seconds remaining. We do have a timeout left, and we'll just try and set up a better field goal here. We do have ball carrier on conservative to, increase the ball security here. So Michael James just to set this one up easier for Castillo, as we will take a timeout with 3 seconds remaining. So now Castillo on for the biggest kick of his career, as Marquette looks to take down a top 10 team for the first time in this series. Kick is up, and that's going to do it here in Lincoln. Larceny in Lincoln, as the Marquette Golden Eagles advance to 5-3, 6 straight wins against ranked opponents, our first ever against a top 10 team. Our defense came to play, and our offense did just enough to get the job done. We did lose the turnover differential, but if you look ahead earlier in the game, we did force a turnover on downs. Dusty Alexander, the player of the game, over 100 yards on just 14 carries, as he did have a touchdown. We beat a top 10 team for the first time in this series, and this is certainly a special one. I thought for sure we were headed for overtime, or I guess going back even earlier, headed for a loss after how the Cornhuskers opened up. But like I said, our defense has really just been, the brand of our game, the brand of our football team. Our offense controlling the clock, doing just enough, practicing good ball security, just 2 turnovers in our last 5 games, and we really haven't been generating all that much this season on defense, but we really haven't had to. So Larceny and Lincoln, that's going to do it here from Memorial Stadium. I'll see you back at Marquette headquarters for some recruiting updates, and I'm very excited to share these new recruits with you. So what a win that was, our first win against a top 10 team in this series. And like I said, 6 straight wins against top 25 opponents. Just unbelievable stuff from our Marquette Golden Eagles. We're really coming along here, and some big recruiting news as well. I kind of wish I did a separate episode for this. A lot happening in this recruiting class, but we'll just start here with some guys we're still pursuing. Todd Kemp, as we have been passed by NIU. They did visit with him. We're only losing 5 each week now, though, from here on out. So I think he'll probably go into the offseason, and at that point, we'll pour at least like $5,000 into him. Same with Quincy Bonner. I think he might go into the offseason. So if these 2 guys are still around come the offseason, I think we'll just do a $5,000 for each of them. With Bonner, we already do have 1 receiver signed, which we did just get in this episode. We'll review him shortly. He still does visit with UTEP. They are only losing 80 per week, so kind of going to probably stay in the fight up until their visit with him. Jay Hill, we do have 1 D tackle in this class, and we're trying to get 2, so he's the other guy. We visit with him week 12. He also visits with Oklahoma State coming up, but 86% locked, so hopefully after our visit, he just commits. Adam Thomas, a three-legged race here with Minnesota and Wyoming. Another guy probably going to go into the offseason. But we do have 4 DBs signed to this class already, which was our target. So Thomas, if we don't really get him, whatever, if he goes into the offseason, probably won't throw much at him as we try and secure Kemp and Bonner if we don't beforehand. Mike Lumpkin, just an extra offensive lineman. The same here with Harrison. If we get Bonner to commit, we'll probably just fall out of Harrison altogether, although it looks like NIU kind of running away with him. Then just a bunch of fillers. I don't really plan on pursuing any of these guys really, but some intrigue. Like I do like Marlon Long and Antonio Wallace here, both 2 stars who would probably redshirt, but we've already hit our goal here for linebackers and corners. Maybe if we get a transfer in the offseason, we'll then maybe try and get them at that point. But for now, just filling up space here on our board. And some 2 new additions here. Josh Terry, a JUCO athlete from Westwood, Michigan. We added him in week 8, simmed here to this Nebraska week. No, actually in the Massachusetts week now, I think week 10. And he went up. We got a lead for him after just pouring points in him 1 week. 6 foot 235. We'll take a look at his attributes here. And very versatile. 91 speed, which we need on offense with good jumping. Good catching there at 78 with an 83 return. 85 truck, 70 elusiveness, 77 stiff arm, 73 carrying. So Looks like a receiver, running back maybe, but at 6', 235, I'm thinking like H-back. I would maybe love to put him at fullback, and I think that would really, give some versatility and flexibility into our offense, which we really need. Such a weird frame there at 6', 235, but 91 speed as an H-back with that 85 trucking, good catching. I think he could be like a really overwhelming weapon on offense for other teams. So if he has some blocking traits, which I really, really hope he does, I think, he could be, like I said, a really good H-back, fullback, receiver, just a really versatile offensive weapon. So Josh Terry, a very interesting commit, recruit, and we'll just go ahead and offer him. Jason Smith now, we're second on his board behind Miami of Ohio, a 4-star, 5'10", 175 out of Landon, Ohio, the 30th athlete in the nation. And I really like what he offers. Throw power at 80, throw accuracy at 77 with a 91 carrying, a 79 ball carrier vision, and he can catch the football as well. So he can play receiver with 81 route running, good spec catch, good catch in traffic, for a freshman with 89 speed, C agility, B acceleration. So we wanted a quarterback in this class maybe only if there was a guy, worth it. And I think Jason Smith would be a very good quarterback for us, if not wide receiver. But I love the flexibility there. Or I was going to say maybe running back, but not really, with, just D for elusiveness, stiff arm, spin move. So definitely a receiver or quarterback. But I think if we brought him in, we put him at quarterback, and he would be the guy, once Greg Walker went elsewhere. So we're going to offer him as well as 2 late additions to the board, 2 athletes, one a JUCO, one a 4-star who would be a freshman. And I'm really excited about these 2 players, and I think they would both, provide tremendous, a tremendous uptick into the offense. And now we'll get to 2 commits here. We finally have gotten a 4-star commit, and we got 2 of them in the same week. Jed Brigham, the 19th ranked D end at a Dearborn Heights, Michigan, 6'5", 254, commits to us over the Spartans. And then CJ Saria, he commits to us over Nebraska after we just beat them in Lincoln at a Marion, Iowa, 30th receiver in the nation. And, at 65 overall each so far, I wish they were a little bit higher caliber. I've been saying, throughout the process here that, teams probably were out on them. 4 stars bust, 5 stars bust, it happens. And hopefully they're not really living up to their 4-star prowess quite yet. But hopefully after we scout them fully here, we see a little boost. So we'll go ahead with Brigham first. 80 hit power stands out off the bat. Decent strength at 76 with good tackle and play rec. And we'll go ahead and uncover him fully as he does go back up to a 67. So overall, he does improve, which is great. 69 block shed, 69 finesse move, 67 power move with good acceleration at D end, 72 play rec, 72 pursuit. So a very balanced D end all around. And I'm happy that Brigham, you decided to come to Marquette. You see what we're all about. And it's a great sign that we're starting to get some of these higher caliber players into the system. CJ Saria, athletically, definitely not standing out. 48 strength, 85 speed, 74 agility, 76 acceleration. So the catching traits really, really have to be there in order for it to kind of be worthy and going after Saria here. 69 route running, but just 58 catching traffic. And, to this point, he's the highest rated player we've ever brought in, 167 on the national board. And we'll go ahead and scout him fully. Really, really hoping for an uptick here. And he is a bust. I was worried about CJ Saria being a bust. But what are you going to do? His catching 62, spec catches 67. So like I was saying all along, we might have been better off. I'm going the wrong way. We might have been better off just going after Daniel Harrison here. 61, and he jumped up 3 after scouting. So I think he would go up even more if we were to fully scout him. So maybe there's a situation where we get Harrison instead and then just cut Saria. We cut a 4-star. We could always come up with a storyline there. And really, Nebraska was never really in on him, nor was Michigan, Ohio State, or Oklahoma. So CJ Saria, a bust. And, that's just an added element of waiting to scout these players fully. Of course, we wouldn't sign him normally, but we need some element of difficulty here in recruiting. Nick Dennis, our only quarterback that was on our initial board, ends up going to Minnesota. We never poured any points into him. Like I mentioned when we talked about Jason Smith, we were only really going to go after a quarterback if they were just, if they were a standout, because we still have Walker for another couple seasons, so maybe something we could have addressed next year. But Nick Dennis to Minnesota, good luck there with the Golden Gophers. I'm sure their victory over us in the last episode helped that decision. So we have a few more commits here that we haven't fully scouted. I always want to say unscouted. That is not correct. John Stovall commits to us over Minnesota, a 2-star out of Anaka, Minnesota, 166 on the board. I like his base traits with a decent speed, decent agility, acceleration, and good jumping. The zone at 71 and press at 73. Decent, 67 man. Like to see it a little bit better, but not bad. So 62 overall, has gone up 3 after halfway scouting. We'll go ahead and fully scout him as he stands pat at a 62. The pursuit goes up at 70. You like to see that. The hit power down at 66. Anthony Edwards, we got him to commit over the Chippewas, and I thought that was going to be a little bit tougher. 6'2", 242 middle linebacker. Manitowoc, Wisconsin, we keep him in state. 89th middle linebacker on the board. We accidentally uncovered his scouting fully in a past episode, but the speed, not good at 73. Agility at 54, not good. But good man for a middle linebacker, and decent block shedding traits with hit power and play rec at 71. So maybe someone that would even, work out as a D end. But either way, Edwards is definitely going to be a redshirt, and Stovall probably is as well. Jimmy Fisher out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 6'3", 229, 47th ranked outside linebacker. Good power move and block shed for a linebacker at 69. Press at 70, which is really good for a linebacker coming out. 76 tackle, 79 strength, but the agility at 53, very bad. But we'll go ahead and scout him fully. 65 overall base, and he hasn't seen any movement yet. But he will go up 1 after scouting. Acceleration up to a 76. Play rec down to a 63. Decent pursuit. So a decent run blocker, not going to provide much in coverage, although he does have that 70 press. James Williams, a 2-star out of Belwa, Wisconsin, and we got him fairly easily. 88 speed, 76 man, and I really like those traits to build off of with 85 jumping. Up 5 after initial scouting to a 63. Let's see if he can go up even further. And he does. Plus 7 from James Williams, up to a 65 overall corner. 72 zone, 65 press, needs to get a little bit better. 77 agility, not good, but he kind of makes up for it with good speed and acceleration and jumping. 72 hit power, good pursuit. So a pretty well-rounded corner. And we're now up to 4 defensive backs in this class with Stovall, Williams, Wilson, and Derek Perkins. One of these corners we probably want to bring over to safety. We wanted 2 safeties and 2 corners, but we just didn't end up going that route because we didn't really have any safeties interested besides Omar Wilson here. So Williams I like a safety with decent zone with passable tackling, and Williams with 72 zone, good speed, good hit power, not the best tackle, but a good play rec. I think Williams out of Perkins, Williams, and Stovall, I think Williams is probably the best fit to go over to safety, but you like to see him add a little bit of weight at only 166. So that's a recruiting update. I think we're now up to, 13 signings, 5, 7, 9, 12, 13 signings. And, I mean, we've really covered all of our bases here. A quarterback and a fullback, kind of what we have targeted here in Terry and Smith, were positions we didn't really need this year, but we would have took them if we had good options, and we now do. So I think Terry and Smith we're going to focus on here in down the home stretch of this season. And then, of course, Todd Kemp, Quincy Bonner, and Jay Hill, other priorities. So realistically, we really only need like a tackle, a receiver, and a D tackle to round out our class, but we'll definitely welcome a quarterback and an H-back if we can get that. Now at top classes, and would you look at that, Marquette currently with a top 10 recruiting class. Isn't that something? Mississippi State, Boise State, Notre Dame, Pitt, Minnesota at number 5, and they're actually coming off another win against Michigan. I know obscure victories, you're happy about that. Last 2 seasons, Minnesota has upset a ranked Michigan team, so Minnesota actually receiving votes in the top 25 as they beat us last week. Texas, Oregon, Alabama, and of course, Oklahoma at number 1. They just tear it up through these sims. Illinois at 11. Of course, still very early, but a lot can change. So we have 13 signings, the second most of any team. Only Pitt has more signings than we do. We actually beat them a few episodes ago. San Diego State behind us with 12. We'll play them after Massachusetts in the next episode. But look at that, 13 signings for Marquette, and Lance Leipold really emerging on the national scene as not only a very good head coach, but one of the better recruiters in the nation. And I think a lot of these recruits starting to take notice as we have 2 4-stars now and a couple athletes that we've added to, provide a lot more energy to this recruiting class. Now look at the top 25, which has seen a lot of shakeup as 3 of the top 6 from last week have fallen. Ohio State, though, still undefeated, the reigning champs. They've only lost 1 game over the course of this entire series. How crazy is that? The Buckeyes just tearing it up, although they've only defeated 1 ranked team so far, and they only have 2 more teams with winning records down the stretch. So not the toughest schedule, though it is a Big Ten schedule. West Virginia up to number 2, and Morgantown is going absolutely crazy. Not the toughest schedule yet, only 6 games in, so they'll have a ranked Kansas State team, a ranked Oklahoma team down the stretch, along with Texas and a few other big-time Big 12 matchups. Marshall at number 3, and would you look at that? I mean, they've only beaten 1 team with a winning record, so they'll probably fall down here down the stretch to one of those. South Carolina, the top 1-loss team in the nation. The Wildcats of Arizona up to number 5. These rankings are just crazy right now. Virginia, will see them on Senior Day 3 episodes from now. They're number 6 after beating Georgia Tech, who is number 7. We'll see them 4 episodes from now. Texas A&M, their first loss, 7-1. Miami, the top 2-loss team in the nation. Alabama, the top 3-loss team in the nation, as they beat Tennessee, giving the Volunteers their second loss. Tennessee at 11, Army 8-1 at 12. Ole Miss falls out of the top 10 after a loss to Arkansas. Notre Dame 6-3. They lost to Wisconsin, Oregon, Florida State 4-3. Boise State 6-1. We still have given them their only loss. Nebraska falls down to 18, and we gave them another loss. Georgia, Kansas State at 5-1 at number 20. Arkansas 5-4, the top 4-loss team in the nation after they beat number 13 Ole Miss. Oklahoma 4-3. They lose to Baylor, who we lost to Baylor, but we beat TCU. Florida 6-3, although they've won like 30 straight games at the Swamp, the toughest place to play right now. Wisconsin at 4-3, and then Penn State rounding it out as they beat Rutgers. Washington, Auburn, Virginia Tech, and of course Marquette are receiving votes. So if we're able to blow out Massachusetts next week, I think we might find ourselves in the rankings. Minnesota and Michigan rounding it out as the Wolverines, the Bruins, and the Terrapins have fallen out of the rankings. And now a quick look at the Heisman Watch to close out this episode. Malik Zaire still number 1 despite a losing effort against Wisconsin. 263 total yards with 5 total touchdowns in that game. Dan Petty, far and away the leading rusher on the season. Right now at 1,400 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns. Just absolute absurd production, although the Gators coming off a loss against Georgia. Kenny Hill falls down. Ryan Higgins of Louisiana Tech in the rankings. We played against them last season. And Ryan Buchanan of Ole Miss rounding it out. And I'll just scroll through some player stats as we close this episode. And if there's anything else you want to see, if you want to, see a periodical check of our player stats, we don't really feature it too much, but I'm certainly willing to show you like any new menus you want to see. But this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Thank you so much for watching. What an eventful episode. Our first win ever against a top 10 team as we beat Nebraska on a game-winning field goal. We get our first 4-star signing of our series here, CJ Saria and Jed Brigham. As look at that, Archibald, 415 receiving yards, far and away our leader there. We get 2 4-star signings, and we get 2 late additions to our board, 2 athletes who I have very, very high hopes for, as we have a top 10 recruiting class, folks, and we're on the verge of being back in the rankings. So, as always, everybody, it's been real and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.